If you want to make a game, just like me, we will need a game engine. But there's just so many choices. Believe me, by the end of this video, we will find the best game engine. Or just look at some of the most popular ones with no idea of what's going on. Now, what is a game engine, you might ask? The short answer is that a game engine takes care of almost all of the calculations, like gravity, collisions, and many other things that we as humans might experience in our mortal lives. Because physics exists, but a virtual recreation of the world doesn't have that. So we don't just have to pick a game engine like it's a game engine, but like a friend that will support us in every step of our way. With that done, let us look at our first competitor, Unity, the classic game engine. I've seen actual masterpieces made with this. Some of the games are Subnautica, Beat Saber, Among Us, Cuphead, and Untitled Goose Game. What the heck is that? But I bet it's fire though. Unity allows you to make anything from mobile games to full VR games, which is pretty crazy, but it is best suited for 2D and 3D games. All the coding is done in C#, which is one of the many or maybe few program languages that we will be looking at today. Unity has the biggest amount of resources that you can use for your games. It is also very great for Giga-Chad calculations, as I like to call them, which is basically programs with lots of things that have to be calculated, but the biggest advantage Unity has, in my opinion, is the large community. Have a problem with figuring out how to make your character jump? The many game dev YouTube channels have got you. If you feel that Unity is the best game engine for you, then wait, because we have another contestant. Unreal Engine. This is a game engine with a lot of similarities to Unity. It has a lot of resources, the community is pretty big. Many amazing games are made using Unreal, like Fortnite, Valorant, Astroneer, and many others. But unlike Unity, it excels in 3D games. It's practically made for them, allowing you to make high graphics games, and is the go-to choice for most AAA games. Some of the coding is done in C++, another programming language, but even if you still don't want to learn one, Unreal Engine has a thing called visual scripting, which is coding without really writing any code. I can already see some of you looking at Unreal as your go-to choice. Sadly, it's not all as good as you might think, because getting to know Unreal Engine is a very large learning curve, because you'll have to adapt to a lot of stuff, something I'm too bothered to do. Unreal Engine can also be described in a few words. Heavy. Very, very heavy, taking up a nice chunk of your disk space. But even then, this is a great engine if you are willing to dedicate a lot of time and effort into learning all of its aspects. Phew, that was a lot of talking. With the two beasts I just described, let's look at a game engine that might become one of your favorites. Introducing Godot. Godot? I'll just say Godot. Anyways, this is a great engine. It's very easy to use, and it's open source, which helped it become one of the best game engines in the last few years. Some of the games that were made in Godot are Brotato, Lumencraft, and Sonic Colors Ultimate. Sadly, the amount of resources isn't that much compared to Unity and Unreal, but the amount has heavily increased since the people behind it are always adding new stuff. The program language Godot uses is similar to Python, so you will have a pretty nice time learning it, which is always useful. The game engine isn't the best for 3D games, but you can still have a very good time making them. Finally, we have GameMaker. This is a game engine made for 2D games, as you can see if you look at some of the games made using it. It also has its own programming language called GameMaker language, which is kind of a mix between JavaScript, C#, and C++. So, have fun figuring that out. The 3D support isn't as good as some other options, so AAA companies usually have other preferences. But this is still a great game engine that's worth checking out. There are a lot more game engines I didn't talk about in this video, but it's your choice of which will be your final pick. Just don't rush and pick an engine that you feel most comfortable with. You can try one, understand that it's not for you, and pick another one. I personally choose Unity, mostly because of the big community and ease of use. Now it's time for me to go. I have a great video idea and plan for next time. Who are some YouTubers to watch if I want to know more?